I just thought you'd like to see me turning up these motor stands, and what I'm doing is I'm taking it a 200 thou cut, and then a 190 cut, and then a 10 thou cut, finishing. I don't normally turn with a big radius like this. The only reason I'm turning it is this is strictly decorative. So I'm turning a 3/4 down to a 5/16, and then I'm dog boning it in the middle, taking that down to a 1/4 inch, and then I'm taking a single point tool and just putting some decorative marks on it and some rings. And these are the parts that I tapped. That in the previous video I was tapping 440 at 1400 RPM with that my little tap handle. So here we go. I'm gonna crank it in and 190 and take a cut. This will be next to the finish pad. There's 190. I'm running it at 800 RPM. I just dab a little oil on it and kick the feed in and let her go across. Okay, that was the 190 pass. And now I will take a 10 thou cut. A finishing cut. Okay, now I'm going to go in the middle here. I'm going to go in the middle here, and I'm just going to dog bone this out to 250. So I'm going to take a 60 thou cut here. $40, $50, $60, and I'm leaving. And this is strictly eyeball here. I just kind of leave approximately that, and then go down to the bottom, feed into the headstock here. Like I say, this is strictly just cosmetic. There's no functionality. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now I just put a single point tool in. And then not sure why my camera shut off on me. I'm trying to get it to focus on that. Come on, focus on that. All right. Let's see. Maybe I can scooch you in here. Need to get it away from my handle so I can actually turn the handle. My crossfeed handle. Okay, I think you can kind of see what's going on here. Well, no, I can't. There we go. Then I just kind of eyeball it to the center here. Crank her in. Whoa! Yeah, stone shot. 1, 2, 3 little rings there. 1 ring around here. And then chamfer the end. And that is it. I'm going to flip them around yet and finish up, dress up the other end of it, but that's pretty much the stand for it. And then the motor will sit on 4 of those. Okay, I flipped around to the second side here, and basically I'm just turning a full, kind of like a full radius on it. I hand ground piece of tool steel up and heat treated it, and so that's what I'm using. It's a homemade tool, and then I'm center drilling and tapping 440 hole into this end, very similar to what I did on the other end, using my little tool. But I'll see if I can give you a shot of that tool here. And let's see. You can kind of see it. It's just basically a little full radius, and what I do is I crank it in here and center it on that. Diameter. Oops, sorry, keep you in the shot here. I'm trying to hold the camera and run the lathe at the same time here. It's not sometimes a trick. Don't have it on a tripod right now. Okay, so I just started up. I'm off a little bit. You can see I'm cutting on one side, not the other. Move it over a little bit. And then I crank it around. And I'm cranking it into a dimension so it'll all be the same. Kind of looks like the bottom of a chess piece now. And then basically now I'll just center drill and tap a hole in here. That's what's going to hold it on to the whatever, if I use Corian material or another plate, or but anyway, it'll be held down so that nothing can tip over. So okay, I finished my stands and stuff, and I was gonna sit down and start masking one out, and then priming and painting it. Color I'm going to paint it is pretty much a GM orange, bright orange. I'm just going to paint the block to start with, and maybe the manifold, the intake manifold. And but I sat down and put one of them, just a few screws in, and bolted it together and set it on a stand to see, just to kind of get a good idea at what it looks like. So let's see if we can kind of show you where I'm at, at this. Okay, so kind of got this one. I just put a few screws in. I don't have all the screws in it, but that's pretty much. And I'm still not sure about the valve cover, if I want to go with that or mill that off and then just polish it. And I might just mill that back off and polish it up like the old polished chrome valve covers. So, but it's coming along. Slow but sure. I got all the spark plugs made. I didn't put any of them in. I still don't have the dampener and bottom pulley made. I didn't put the cam in here. The cam is made, lifters are made, gears are made. I just haven't gotten around to putting the cam in and setting it up the way it's supposed to be set up. Probably one of the last things I'll do but before I do that, I want to get, like I say, I want to get this one primed and painted, and that way I can kind of compare and look to see, you know, which way I like it better. I'll probably just leave one painted and one not anyway. So, but anyway, I spent some time dinking around, putting it all, just kind of temporarily bolting it all together here. So the other water pump I've already painted that. And actually, I powder coated that one here. So, but the other, I'm not going to powder coat. I could go ahead and powder coat it, but I don't want to do it right. I'd have to take the pistons and rings and everything out of it in order to, because I got to heat it up to 500 degrees and hold it there while the paint or the powder cures, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to prime it with self-etching primer. You know, this stuff is supposed to work pretty good on aluminum without having to sandblast it. If I would have thought that I was going to paint it, I would have sandblasted the outside of this before I started assembling it. But the crankshaft and the pistons and stuff, they're pretty much they're assembled. I mean, I am not going to take them apart again. So, but that's where I'm at. And I'm just sitting here trying to decide what I'm going to work on next. I still don't have the needles done for that. The screws are laying there and the needles are laying there. I may just go ahead and do that, or I could do some more lathe work and work on the dampener dynamic balancer pulley, and got my remote for the camera. So beautiful. It's really beautiful outside. It's when the weather gets like this, I mean, I like working in the shop, but I like the outdoors better. I mean, I like working in the yard and the garden and stuff. That's why in the summertime things come to a stop in my shop, and I go outside and work out there. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on the needles. I think I'm going to get those needles done so that the carburetors are done. And then plus I need to make the arm for the linkage for that for the carburetor. So I'll work on some wrapping up on some of the carburetor parts and getting that completely done, so that's done. So that's where I sit.